So the milestone has finally been reached. It came in a bit later than I expected. I wanted to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2018. That's okay, we're about a month and a half late, but better late than never, right? And now to celebrate this milestone with you guys, I thought I'd share my top 3 personal holdings in my long-term portfolio. Now, I haven't disclosed my personal portfolio publicly in about a year or so a lot has changed since my last video on this. And this includes changes to not only the holdings in the portfolio, but my overall strategy of investing as well. Now, if you're a VIP member in my VIP group, you will have already known all these positions that I'm about to list today and all the other holdings as well in my portfolio. So if you are interested in joining, there is a link in the description below. But if not, let's get into it, guys. I really appreciate all the support, and here's my thank you to you guys. So coming in my third largest position, we're gonna go from the third, second, and then first is PepsiCo. So this has been a stock that I personally started buying back in May 2018, and I started buying this at under $100 per share. And as we continued throughout 2018, I kept adding more and more to this position because I absolutely love the business after doing some research on it. And as you can see, it's quickly grown into my third largest holding. So at current prices of around $115 per share, so I'm not buying any more PepsiCo right now. I'm just holding the stock, enjoying the returns and enjoying the dividends that it gives me, which my yield on cost is actually above 3.5%. So in 2018, I built a lot more safe and stable companies into my portfolio. That was kind of my strategy, that I shifted from more growth stocks to more stable and safe stocks. I do have some growth stocks in the portfolio though still. And the idea is that if we do have a recession that comes up in the next few years, I would be more than happy to add to these safe, stable companies. And in my opinion, Pepsi is actually one of those safe stocks. So their business model is actually very strong and people love their products, they're well-recognized brands, and people actually purchase the products during any part of the economic cycle, which is what I absolutely love. And like I already mentioned, the dividends here are great too, so it's just another excellent reason to hold the stock for the long term. Now, I have made a few videos in the past covering Pepsi and what my thoughts are on Pepsi and why I love the business, but if you guys want to see a refresher video on Pepsi, make sure to comment that down below, and I'll create a more in-depth video on why I hold Pepsi stock. But anyways, in a nutshell, I love the diversification and the stability that PepsiCo brings to my portfolio. Now, my second stock is another one that may surprise you because it's one that I started buying heavily in 2018. I've mentioned it plenty of times on this channel, and if you haven't guessed it by now, that stock is Disney. Disney, no doubt, is a world-recognized brand, and in my opinion, has a lot going for it. I've made a lot of videos in the last few months on why I'm so bullish on Disney as a company and the stock. And I also made a video on why I think it's an excellent stock, the #1 stock in my opinion for 2019. Now, if you haven't watched those videos, make sure to watch them, but in a nutshell, the 2 biggest catalysts for Disney are first the Fox acquisition clearing. So once that clears, that's gonna kind of create a more stable path moving forward for the company, and they're gonna have tons more brands behind them, which will only increase their value. And the second, of course, is Disney Plus, which is their streaming service, which is gonna be competing with Netflix directly, and there's a lot of hype around this. And if you're also bullish on Disney because of either of these 2 points that I just mentioned, the time to buy Disney technically was in 2018 when it was below $100 per share. But even right now at under $110 a share, I think it's a great value. Because here's the problem, a lot of people are going to wait to invest in Disney until Disney Plus is released. And then once they see the success of that, which in my opinion will be successful, then they're going to want to invest in Disney. But at that point, it's going to be too late because that success will be baked into the stock price. Right now, the stock is actually currently in a state where it could go either way. It could go incredibly higher, it could drop massively lower. No one really knows, which is why it's the best time to invest, in my opinion, in Disney. So if you're strongly a bull here on Disney and you actually think that Disney Plus is going to be successful, it's going to drive the business forward, it's going to bring them a lot more income over the years, then you may want to look into opening up a position before their investor day in April, because I believe that's when they're going to be announcing more details on the platform. And that's when I think some of the success of Disney Plus will most likely get baked into the stock price. So really, Disney is an incredible company, incredible brand that once again adds diversity to my portfolio. It's a well-recognized brand, like I mentioned, and I think it'll be around for a very, very long time. And of course, on top of that, Disney also pays out a dividend, not as high as PepsiCo does, but it is around a 1.5% dividend for me on my yield on cost, so it's not too shabby. It's another bonus for holding the stock. But like I've said, and I think it's pretty clear from my explanation on why I like Disney, I'm holding the stock more for capital appreciation here as opposed to just dividends, and that's kind of my play moving forward on Disney. And of course, my largest position, which I've been incredibly vocal on this channel. I've made tons of videos covering the stock, tons of videos why I think it's a great business. It's just been pushed down because of sentiment and a couple other issues, but they've done a great job turning around the business in my opinion, and their last earnings report is actually proof of that. and this company is Facebook. Now, I just made a video, like I said, recently on Facebook covering their earnings, covering my updated view on the company, so make sure to check that out. But Facebook has actually been a stock that I've been buying throughout 2018. And the sun's not really cooperating with us today, but let's move on with the video anyways. So I actually started buying Facebook back when the Cambridge Analytica scandal came out. That was back in February 2018, and the stock actually took a pretty hard hit back then, which is when I found a good opportunity to go and open up a position in the stock. Then I wrote it up all the way to its earnings in mid-summer, I think it was July or so, and that's when they reported that they will be slowing down growth, and as a result, the stock took a massive 20% hit. And ever since then, I've just been adding to my position in Facebook. It's gone down from, $220 per share all the way down to $130 per share. I added throughout a lot of that drop. I added even in the 130s heavily. And I was just such a strong believer in the company. The main points really is their user base, over 2 billion users. Their advertising revenue, which has been growing really well, and I think will be growing exponentially in the next few years. Their payment processing potential, so I think they will get into the payment space very soon. And of course, their balance sheet, where they have absolutely $0 in debt, but $41 billion in cash. But one thing is that Facebook does not pay out a dividend, but that's completely fine by me because I'm holding the stock solely for capital appreciation. And honestly, as a shareholder, I don't want Facebook to pay out a dividend. I want them to use that capital to reinvest back into the business, grow the business even further, maybe buy back some shares to add more value to shareholders that way. That's what they've been doing recently, actually. And as an investor, I'm happy with that as long as they keep up with this projected growth that they've been seeing. I think that all of these things combined, all of these things considered, will actually make Facebook a $1 trillion company in the near future. But that's just my opinion, and it really shows how much I love this company because it is significantly larger than any of my other positions in my portfolio. So there you have my top 3 holdings publicly disclosed for the first time in 2019. So as you saw, there are 9 other stocks in that portfolio, my long-term portfolio, which I haven't really disclosed on this channel, but I have mentioned some of them throughout my videos that I've created over the last few months. I also have a brand new stock that I've recently added, which will most likely get added to my long-term portfolio. Right now it's a swing trade, but I absolutely love the business the more I look into it, and I might just hold that for the long term because I got a good cost basis on that. I'm also looking at a couple other stocks to add to the portfolio in the next few weeks, maybe next few months. So if you're in the VIP group, you'll be one of the first ones to see when I do purchase those stocks. Either way, guys, hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you found value out of this video. Running this channel not only helped me teach you guys about investing in stocks, but it's also taught me a lot about investing in stocks, and I'm going to continue to create videos throughout 2019 as long as you guys enjoy them and find value out of them. Don't forget to drop a huge like on this video to show your support. Thank you again for 10,000 subscribers, guys, and here's 10,000 more. Peace.